Hey guys, it's ExandShadow. Welcome back to the Kirby 64 Let's Play. Yeah! So anyway, we're still on Aquastar, and now we've got ourselves a beach level. Yay, beach levels? Actually, when I think about it, I can't really think of any outstanding beach levels off the top of my head. Well, I mean, I guess you could count the entirety of Super Mario Sunshine, but that's sort of a love it or hate it type of thing. Anyway, those Maraca people, whatever they're called, again, a lot of the Kirby 64 enemies are sort of weird and sort of deviant from the rest of the series, so I don't know all of their names, but that Maraca thing, it'll sometimes block people you shoot at it, so be careful. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I mean, you can suck them up just fine, so you really don't have anything to worry about, but it's just something that's neat, I guess. I don't know where I'm going with it. And oh my god, look, we're totally 3D, right? We're totally 3D. Yeah, what's odd is that Kirby's never been in a full 3D environment, and this is sort of the closest that Kirby's ever gotten, not counting Return to Dreamland, which I still haven't played as the time of this recording, so I don't know if they do any of this type of stuff. So because this is a one of the first real 2.5D games out there, I'm not sure if Klonoa beat this to release, but since this is one of the earliest 2.5D games, you can see a lot of points where they wanted to stress the 0.5D aspect of it, like that section there where you had to shoot where those turrets were shooting at you. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, they tried to make it as 3D as possible while keeping it 2D, which I guess is nice for this, but I don't understand why they haven't made a full 3D Kirby game yet. I mean, they were planning on doing it in the GameCube era, which I think would have been really cool. The closest thing we've had to a 3D Kirby game is Air Ride, which is it's okay. I mean, you can get off of the ship and control Kirby in the city trial mode, which isn't neat enough, I guess. But, I mean, I'd really like a full 3D Kirby platformer, because that would be fun. Oh well, you can't always get what you want, right? Anyway, jump down into this mountain, which is a lot bigger on the inside than it does on the outside. Use Bomb Cutter to break open that block, and there you go. Another Crystal Shard. Whoosh! Yeah, that is definitely a TARDIS mountain. It is definitely not that big on the inside as it is on the outside. So anyway, yeah, underneath these Gordos here, those planks will shoot up if you walk on them. So just keep an eye out for those. Hey look, it's Dedede. Yes, kind of like Adeline, Dedede won't, you won't be able to ride on Dedede's back every world. He'll only do it on some, and in the other worlds he'll just sort of help you by hammer catapulting you to certain places. I mean, granted, I'm glad they didn't shoehorn a King Dedede section into every world, because that would have gotten pretty old pretty fast. But, you know, you could have I think they could have thought of something a little bit more creative to do with them. And god damn it, I missed. Yes, I'm not sure if it's this level. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's this level now that I think about it. But you're going to need Cutter Rock. So you have a rock power-up there before, and there are cutters there. So try to get Rock Cutter as soon as you possibly can. Now, be careful with this guy, because if you're too close to him when you defeat him, the crystal, you'll fall into that hole without being able to pick up the Crystal Shard, which has happened to me more than once, and it sucks. So yes, as you can see, you're going to need Cutter Rock for this next section, so I cut away to go get Cutter Rock, right now, actually, and then, there we go. Now this is one of the more infamous Crystal Shards to get. You see, what Cutter Rock does is, it changes you into the different helpers from Kirby's Dream Land 3. Which is a cool little Easter egg, I might add. But the thing is that this one Crystal Shard trips people up all the time. You see, the Crystal Shard's at the very top of this chasm here, and you can't float up there normally. So you get Cutter Rock, you go over here, and you're thinking, what the fuck do I do? How do I get this Crystal Shard? Well, you gotta change into Rick and then jump up on the wall in order to get there. When you're Rick, you can go next to the wall and keep pressing A sort of rhythmically, and you'll go up higher, but the game never tells you that you can do that. And so that Crystal Shards, I know, tripped up many people a lot, so that's how you get it. That's one of the worst god dang it moments in the game. Thankfully, most of them get better after this. Most. Anyway, you see those wooden platforms there with the logs on them? If you step on them, the log will break, and then the platform will break, and the logs will start rolling down. And if you do that, it's more likely that they'll hit you, which is bad. So, try not to land on the wooden part, if at all possible. And so yeah, lots of star pieces here. I don't know what their official name is, but I can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet, but those little stars you see wandering around all over the place, if you get 100 of them, you get an extra life, kind of like coins in rings. Those other bigger stars that are different colors, like the red one in the end of minigame, and the blue one you get if you pass by a shard you've already collected before, those are worth more, but I'm not sure the exact amounts. So yeah. Anyway, now for a water level, there's been an awfully severe lack of swimming, so yeah, we finally got our first all-water level of Aquastar. Who'da thunk that, right? A water level where you actually swim? No, couldn't be. That doesn't make any sense at all. So anyway, when you're underwater, the only real change to your power-up abilities is that some of them go slower. Like, for example, Kirby can't throw the bomb as fast, which, you know, makes sense. You're moving through water, not air. But yeah, as you can see, this is one of those things where having a game be in 2.5D really doesn't make sense. Because as you can see, this is clearly a 3D environment, but because Kirby can only walk on a forward, backwards, up, down plane, it should be obvious that Kirby can just move to the front or the back to dodge all these obstacles. But he doesn't for some reason. So, I mean, granted, it's a video game. All that, yada yada yada, but still, it's just when you've got the game set up like this, it sort of makes those things a little bit more obvious. I mean, when you're in a 2D plane, well, not really a 2D plane, when you've got 2D sprites, it looks more like you only have to stick to that 2D plane, but when you've got 2.5D like this, especially when the camera angle changes, you really start to question, Kirby, why can't you just move all directions? I mean, you know that N64 does have a control stick. Anyway, yeah, for this section, you're gonna wanna, there's a current here at specific points, so it'll push you back and forward, and it makes traversing the area a little bit more difficult. But there is a crystal shard in here, so you're gonna have to persevere. You go up this far, and it's right there, so you're gonna have to go pretty much all the way left in order to get it, and then go up as far as you can, as fast as you can. And god damn it, Gordo, stop hitting me. It's really not nice, especially when I can't move as fast. Again, one thing about Kirby 64 that's different from the other Kirby games is that Kirby moves relatively slowly in the water. Most other Kirby games, Kirby moves pretty fast in the water. As a matter of fact, most other Kirby games move pretty fast in general, and Kirby's generally slow-paced. I mean, Kirby 64, I should say, is generally slow-paced. I've heard this is sort of what it's like in Dreamland 2 and 3. And Kirby 64 is a spiritual successor to those games. So I can understand that, I guess. But oh my god, Labyrinth Zone. Gah! Anyway, what you're going to want to do is go all the way down, go up, and then hold down when you let go of the Labyrinth Zone stop type thing. Because if you miss that shard, you're not getting it. Because the current's pretty much pushing you along all the way here. So if you miss it, you can either replay the level, or you can do what I'm doing and commit suicide. It's generally the faster idea. If you miss that the first time, is to just commit suicide. You'll get plenty of lives. I mean, I've got 15 right now. So yeah, you should, if you miss that, just commit suicide, you'll be fine. I mean, if you really care that much about your life counter, you can do the entire level over again. But it's sort of a long and slow level, especially since it's a water level, so I wouldn't recommend that. So anyway, this time for real, go down as far as you can, hold it down while you're going out, and then there you go. One crystal shard for you. Da-na-na-na. You got the thing. Suck up a crab. Swim down the thing. Thing. Gordo, I don't know what I'm talking about. Ow. Anyway, yeah, as you can see, I wasn't fast enough to get that chocolate bar ice cream thing, and thus I can't get it. The current in this area is really, really strong, so watch out. Anyway, we've got another mini-boss. This one's slightly harder because you're fighting against the current here. But just shoot stuff at him, you'll be fine. Actually, I'm pretty sure that those little green spitty things, whatever their names are, those are the bigger threat than the mini-boss in this section. And if you've got a power ability, you're generally going to be fine. You'll be able to kill this thing and no problem. The thing, I died because I only had like 1 or 2 health points left at the beginning of this fight. So I didn't want to, so yeah, that's why I died. Generally, you shouldn't have a problem. So yeah, just spit, shoot, he'll die. Of course, you gotta be aiming the right way in order for him to die, but, you know, that should just be obvious. Now, oddly enough, you'd think that most of the shards would come from mini-bosses overall, because there's 1 mini-boss per level, but there's not always a crystal shard after every mini-boss. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't, sometimes there is, but you gotta, like, have the right power-up to open a door in the mini-boss room. It's sort of weird, but there's no crystal shard after this mini-boss, so you can just leave right away. I was just being paranoid, so I made another trip, a few trips around just to be sure. Yeah, there's no crystal shard in this room. Alas. Of course, so now we've got more fun with currents. Yay. This level really loves to have currents in it. So anyway, yeah, you're going to want to stick to either the top or the bottom, just because there are these little crevices in there where that stuff is sometimes in. Like health power-ups, and there is a crystal shard in this room too, so you're going to want to be careful. If you try to swim against the current, it'll pretty much just slow you down, but that can be kind of helpful in some situations, so I recommend swimming against the current enough to get to see what's coming up. But be careful, because those rocks go pretty fast, and there are Gordos here too. You're probably going to get hit. There's no real way of escaping it. So yeah, just go up there, and then that's the end. Hooray! Man, I missed the maximum tomato. I mean, at least I got something, so that's nice. So anyway, yeah, now we've got the boss, which I think is named Acro the Shark. I could be wrong. So anyway, yeah, Acro the Shark. He's a shark. The first section of this boss fight's pretty easy. He'll spit stuff out at you. You've got to spit it back. Ew. Now, sometimes he'll shoot out the enemies that can give you copy abilities. But generally, I don't think that the ones he gives you are pretty helpful for this fight. I mean, I know for a fact that he shoots out the cutter enemies, and I'm pretty sure he can shoot out bombs later too. But it's, as I said in an earlier episode, it's hard to get the power up to surface while you're underwater, because you have to stand on the ground, which leaves you open. So generally, I'd just say that either if you have a good underwater power, which there really aren't a lot of, honestly, stick with that, but most of the time you're gonna be pretty okay just spitting stuff back out. You'll be fine. But oh no, earthquake? I don't really know what's going on, but it's phase 2 of the boss fight, and now we're going up this endless valley thing. I don't know. But yeah, Acro's showing up again. He'll shoot a lot of things that have the bomb copy ability, but the thing is that because there's no ground here, you can't get a new copy ability. Again, you have to be standing on the ground in order to swallow, so you can't get any new copy abilities here, even though there is bomb, and I think bomb might be actually useful for this boss fight because it does go in a downward arc. But yeah, Agro's movements are pretty easy to dodge. He'll stay up. He'll only ever shoot straight up, so as long as you stay to the left or right of him, you'll be fine. As a matter of fact, you can pretty much stay, if you can stay below his mouth, and you'll never be in danger of getting hit by his projectiles, and you can stay pretty much far away that you shouldn't get hurt. So yeah, this boss really shouldn't give you too much trouble. Again. What's more dangerous is that if you're trying to stick to the sides like I am, you might not have enough room between Acro, his projectiles, and the enemies on the side of the screen. I really hope his name is Acro, because that's what I've been calling him this entire time. But yeah, it's a pretty easy boss fight. You beat him up, you win, you get the crystal shard. Kirby does his dance. Yay! And end of world. And we've got ourselves another cutscene here. Guys, shouldn't we be saving the world? Don't we have to, like, go and find all these crystal shards? I'm pretty sure the water doesn't need a rock thrown at it. Kirby? Kirby? Time to save the world, please. Well, that's what you get for slacking off, you lazy son of a bitch. So anyway, yeah, Kirby's friends being dicks are about to leave the world without him. I mean, what are they gonna do? They don't ever go and get the crystal shards themselves. Kirby's the only one doing the work. Man, nobody's really nice in this world, is there? But anyway, next time we're gonna be going up to Neostar, which is finally a planet that has a plausible... I don't know, whatever it is. It looks like it could actually be a planet. But anyway, yeah, I'm ExandShadow, and I'll see you guys later.